British farmers are taking a stand, protesting against the Labour government after a controversial inheritance tax on farms was introduced. Before coming to power, Keir Starmer and his MPs assured the farming community that they wouldn't be targeted. But now, many are calling them out for going back on their word. The frustration is real, and tensions are running high. Farmers, already dealing with economic pressures, now face the possibility of losing family-owned land that has been passed down for generations. They feel betrayed. In a heated debate at Westminster Hall, Conservative MP Geoffrey Cox didn't hold back. He directly confronted Starmer, calling out his government's hypocrisy and warning him against shedding what he called crocodile tears. His passionate speech resonated with many who believe this tax is unfair and damaging to Britain's agricultural future. Watch this clip and see for yourself. What do you think? Is this policy necessary, or is it a betrayal of British farmers?
The Prime Minister appeared before the National Farmers Union Conference, and he shed crocodile tears. He said to the hundreds of farmers assembled in the widely listening electorate from the rural areas that he knew what it meant to lose a family farm. And his voice trembled with that emotional resonance as he conveyed to those constituents in my constituency and across England and all the regions of this great country that he would never impose upon them the tax that he has imposed upon them now. It was a cynical breach of a promise made by a man seeking the highest office in this land.
Hear, hear.
And upon those promises, Sir Edward, thousands of people relied. The elderly widower, whose deceased spouse cannot transfer her allowance. The widows, the elderly farmers, who may now fear that unless they survive 7 years, their family farm, often the work of a century of their ancestors, of herds cultivated and nurtured over decades, will be lost because they must sell off great portions of their farms. And these farms are farmed not necessarily for the profit they make, because the profit is exiguous, but rather for the love of the life they lead and for the support of the fabric of the rural communities we who represent them cherish and adore. And it is that blow, I say to the Minister, aimed with unerring accuracy at the very heart of rural life, that is the reason for the outrage you hear not only upon these benches today, but listen to the horns that are blowing outside. That is the voice of real democracy. That is the voice of the people crying out to those of us here to change direction upon this harmful and damaging decision. And so I say, Sir Edward, I appeal to the Minister, for whom I feel sorry. He has been sent out like a night watchman to face the fast bowling in the twilight of the evening on the Test match's last day, and it is Michael Holding coming in to bowl. I don't envy his task. Go back to his seniors. Tell them to change their direction. The time has come for the ministry and the ministers to accept they are wrong. Their figures are wrong. Change the policy.
Is this Labour government the most hypocritical in UK history? Many believe so. After promising to stand by British farmers, they've now introduced an inheritance tax on farms, leaving hardworking families feeling betrayed. If you think this policy is unfair, hit that like button and let your voice be heard. And don't forget to drop a comment below. Do you see this as necessary reform, or just another broken promise? Let's get the conversation going.